สวัสดีครับพบกับรายการตอบโจทย์กับผมชัยรัตน์ถมยานะครับวันนี้ผมได้มานั่งอยู่กับมิเชลโยนะครับดารานำแสดงในเรื่อง The Lady แล้วก็ผู้กำกับชื่อดังชาวฝรั่งเศสลุคเบซองนะครับซึ่งทั้งคู่จะมาพูดคุยกันถึงในเรื่องการถ่ายทำภาพประวัติของผู้หญิงที่เรียกได้ว่าเป็นดอกไม้เหล็กของเอเชียนั่นก็คือองซานซูจีครับ So Michelle and Luke welcome to the program. I covered about Aung San Suu Kyi for more than 10 years. But I saw your film, there are so many information that I never knew before, especially her private part. So is that movie is made for? Look.
Aha, you see, you learned something. Yeah, I think it's, the people know the figure, you know. You know, the steel orchid. But I was always interested by, you know, how you became Aung San Suu Kyi, you know, where it comes from, where your strength come from. And as soon as you learn a little bit more about her private life, which is, you know, her dad, how she lost her dad, and her wonderful and beautiful husband, and the wonderful kids that she has, and you understand much better how she can survive 30 years of oppression like she have done. And, you know, that's why I think, you know, if you want to understand the mission of someone, you have to understand the person first.
Right.
You know, and I was very interested to show to everybody, you know, how she is inside, really.
But is it difficult to direct the movie because before when you're making the movie, you never met Aung Suu Kyi before, Daw Suu before?
No, never. Never. That was the challenge. But, you know, she was under house arrest since 10 years and with no hope that she will get out one day in reality. So, you know, we want to help her. We want to show the world, you know, like who is this great person. And it was our mission to, you know, to give a hand and to help. So, you know, you're doing for a right cause and it's coming from our art. So you don't think too much. We were surrounded in the film by 200 Burmese people who were working on the film. So they were always able to tell us, oh, this is right, this is wrong, you should a little bit more like this and a little bit more like that. So we really try as more as we can to portray the truth, at least the truth that, you know, the truth who can get out of the country, because there is not so many informations.
And the most challenging part had to be Michelle, that you have to portray Aung San Suu Kyi as such an iconic figure, and you never met her before but how you learn about her? Because I saw the film, the way you walk, the way you talk, it's like make me goosebumps, like, wow, is that Suu Kyi in the film?
Thank
so
you.
How do you do that?
You know, it's commitment. This truly is from all of us that have worked on the film. We understand and we realize this will be one of the most meaningful experiences, and personally it has been. And I think when you are committed like that, you are devoted. You know, then after that is the discipline will come in, and you know what you have to do as an actor, because you're not trying to impersonate her or mimic her, because it's a 2-hour film that's trying to bring you into that world, that time of Aung San Suu Kyi. You just do your research. And then we were very fortunate, we managed to get 200 hours of footage on, but generally there were all things in her public speaking, her Shawadagon speech. So from there, you just have to, you know, you zoom in yourself, you lock it in, you try to see what's going on behind those eyes when she smiles, when she talks, how she matured over the years. It's just your own dedication to it. But what I'm really pleased to hear that even you've been following her life for the last 10 years as a journalist. So you know all the political things that has been happening in her country. But that's the magic of cinema, is to bring you something. And I'm very pleased to hear that you've now learned something else about Aung San Suu Kyi, because we want you to be moved and touched, because now you will feel for this person like she is the real person that she is.
But I read the article that you said that you want to be portrayed as Aung San Suu Kyi for a long time, looking forward to this part, but why Daw Suu?
Can you think of any other person? Do we have another ASEAN, leader that has that kind of history, that has, it's not just who she is, but also Michael Aris, the part when she was a housewife in Oxford for 16 years. And then, it's such an interesting story. I think if someone wrote it and if it wasn't a true story, you would almost say, come on, this is a little bit too much. That balance is like the husband, the Englishman who had to do this. Suddenly he became the housewife. And then this Burmese lady, she went back to her country. It would be almost too unreal, But for us, for me as an actor, it is the most incredible role I've ever, and I think I will ever come upon. But prove me wrong.
Yeah, but the movie, mostly you film it in Thailand. But many scenes like the Suji's house, it's just like, oh my God, it's like look exactly the same that I saw many times on the news footage. How can you do that? And I wonder all the time, what is inside that house? I want to know how she spent her life in the house.
We have like 200 pictures from the house given by associations and families, members and friends. And we recreate the entire same house, like the exact millimeter same house. Even the orientation of the house, north-south, is the same. And we put the same curtain, the same piano, the same roof, the same everything. Because I think it's the third character of the film. She spent more than 15 years under house arrest in this house. And it needs to be real. And even for Michelle and David, the lead actors, to every morning to be dressed like her and have the flowers in her head, and then coming in the same house, you feel the responsibility. You feel like we are actually, at the time we start the film, she was under house arrest, and we were under house arrest too, because we were spending all our time in the same house in the same time than her. So the connection between the two, the reality and the story, makes sense, So, but there is an image that I will never forget, is all the Burmese people who were working with us. And the first day of shooting, they were on the house, which they know this house. And Michelle arrived dressed like Aung San Suu Kyi with the flower and everything, moving like her,
Yeah.
And they were all crying.
Yeah, but
all of them.
They are so incredible, it's so natural. And I love the way that you put, because at the beginning of the film, they say, oh, this is going to be just English speaking. But then you have the Burmese speak, and then Michelle speak Burmese. Yeah. And then in some part you have like Burmese speaking in the film. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's normal. I mean, the best compliment I have so far was a Burmese people who watched the film, and he was crying at the end. And he said to me, I have never seen my country on a big screen, because the cinema doesn't exist so much over there. There is no directors and there is no school for that. And they'd never seen their country on a big screen. And it was, I never thought about that.
Yeah. And Michelle, how do you learn to speak Burmese, especially the scene that you have to speak in front of the people at the Shweta Gong Pagoda? It's a really long dialogue.
Oh yeah, it was.
It's an implant, in fact. It's,
oh.
It's an implant.
It's just hard work. You have to set your mind to it. I will admit, after the first 2 weeks, I almost went to him and said, I don't know if I can do this, because it's not an easy language. There are no similarities with any of the languages I knew. And I realized how important this speech was. And it's you can see it. I mean, there are many footage on that. But I had a very dedicated teacher, and I will always thank her for that. So we just rolled up our sleeves, and every day, 3 hours before lunch, another 3-4 hours after lunch, we just went through it until I was saying the speech in my sleep.
And you too have the chance to meet Aung San Suu Kyi, the real person. So what do you think when you met her and the real person? Luke?
You forgot the film. After 10 seconds, I totally forgot the film. I just met a person, and she was just amazing. Such a beautiful human being, you know. So I was very comfortable and very impressed in the same time. I've never met such a beautiful woman in my life.
And Michelle,
You know, she welcomes you like a family member right away. She makes you feel very at ease. And what Luke says is right, you know, when I went, before going there, you have all these different questions, different things that you think you should ask, you should do, behave, because she obviously knew I was playing her, you know, and you're thinking, I want to make sure that when she looks at me, she's not going to go, oh my God, what are they thinking? But she's truly remarkable. You
Have
know,
you seen
she's
the
a
movie yet?
wonderful human being.
Have you seen the
No,
movie
at
yet?
that time we were still making it. Personally, I think it will be a very hard movie for her to watch because, you know, it is a part of the time where they tried to really isolate her, which they did. They forced her family away from her. And, you know, to see images of Michael being ill and what the family had to go through, I think it's, I mean, when I watch it now, you know, I've seen it, I don't know, 15 times. I'm still crying at the end of the day. I see it's still very emotional.
Are you still on the blacklist? Can you go back to Burma?
I've been told I'm not.
You're not.
I've been just received an email yesterday and told that they said they would welcome me back to the country. And I will, because it is a beautiful country.
Yeah, it's good to go right now because it's freer than before, and we think that it's going to continue. So look, when you see when Aung San Suu Kyi is released right now and she's going to run by election in April, so what do you think about Burma? What's going to happen next in Burma?
You know, she always asks for dialogues, and so I really follow her and trust her. My only concern is to be sure that all this is not just a cosmetic, you know, because Burma is going to run the ASEAN group in 2 years from now, so they need to open, you know, their frontier. So let's be very prudent. It looks like this new president is really, you know, open, and so it's a good signs. But you know, it's 50 years of oppression in Burma, and you can't erase 50 years of oppression in a couple of weeks. So let's be prudent. Let's encourage them. You know, it's bravo. It's very good to open. You know, Zagana is free now, and there's still 1,000 of political prisoners in jail. Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch are not allowed to go at the frontier to see what's going on. So you know, it's the process. It starts, but I really trust her. I think that if at any moment she feel like it's cosmetic or it's a trap, she didn't suffer for so long to fall in the trap. So as long as she's there, as long as she's, you know, being elected, and I really wish in a couple of years that she will be president, because I really think she will be the best president for Burma for the future.
And Michelle, if you want to have to give the definition about Aung San Suu Kyi, you live with her, you all the time when you play her role. So who is Aung San Suu Kyi?
I think for us, Aung San Suu Kyi is not just an icon. You know, she's not where she is by just being and looking good. It's with endeavor, it's with dialogue. She represents, but she's not the only one person that's doing things. It's her and her people, her national NLD members. I think, to be honest, now is a very, very good opportunity for all of us as good neighbors to help, so that they are, and there is an irreversible road to democracy. And you know, we have enjoyed, you have your Prime Minister going into the country and having dialogue. We have the Singaporeans also doing the same thing, and the Malaysians doing the same thing. I think they have been oppressed for so long. This is a time that we can reach out a helping hand, not just for commercial reasons. Go in there with a good conscience to help the people and the country.
Thank you very much. Thank you, both of you. Thank you. และทั้งหมดก็คือรายการตอบโจทย์ในวันนี้ครับผมและทีมงานต้องขอลาไปก่อนครับสวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ
This word I know.
So thank you
After
very
4
much.
months. Sawadee Krap. That's